Alright everyone, how are you doing? Look, today I brought you 3 absolutely sensational stories about Wrexham that are going to leave you completely gobsmacked. And believe me, I've saved the best story for the very end, because this final piece is absolutely spine-tingling and involves none other than Gareth Bale, a fortune of 40 million quid, and a rejection that bruised the egos of the club's Hollywood owners. I'm talking about a story that has desperate attempts, millionaire proposals, and an unshakable loyalty that nobody could break. So stick with me until the end because you won't want to miss this bombshell. But before we get there, let's talk about some fascinating situations happening at the most talked about Welsh club on the planet. News Story 1. Ryan Reynolds and Phil Parkinson's Iron Rule. Let's start with a story that shows that not even being a Hollywood billionaire gives you special privileges at Wrexham. Did you know that Ryan Reynolds, one of the club's owners, has to follow the same rules as the players when it comes to celebrities and distractions? That's right, and this is thanks to a very specific rule from manager Phil Parkinson, who doesn't accept excuses from anyone. Let me give you some context here. It's been almost 5 years since Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack bought Wrexham. And mate, what an incredible journey those lads have had. Under their stewardship, Wrexham were promoted in 3 consecutive seasons. 3. This led the club to reach the second tier of English football, the Championship, for the first time in over 40 years. It's simply surreal when you stop to think about it. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Because of all this attention that comes with being owned by Reynolds and Mack, the racecourse ground has basically turned into a Hollywood red carpet. You've got David Beckham turning up there, Channing Tatum popping by, Will Ferrell watching matches, and so on. The list of celebrities visiting the stadium is absolutely mental. And there's that sensational FX series, Welcome to Wrexham, which has only increased all this buzz around the area and the football club. Mate, even King Charles III and Queen Camilla visited the place in December 2022. That's right, British royalty went there. Imagine how mad that must have been. Now, you must be thinking, with so many celebrities, so much glamour, so much going on, how on earth do the players manage to keep their focus on football? Well, this is where Phil Parkinson's genius comes in, Wrexham's manager. The bloke simply doesn't accept anything taking attention away from what really matters, playing football and winning matches. Ollie Palmer, a former Wrexham striker who was there from the beginning of this whole journey, spoke about this in an interview for CBS Sports at the start of this year. And what he said is absolutely revealing. Palmer admitted it might sound arrogant or ridiculous, but he was there from the start of this whole story, so he ended up getting used to all this madness. But he made it very clear that he knows it's not normal. He knows it's an incredible experience. And he knows it won't last forever. But here's the crucial point that Palmer stressed: they all simply enjoy this mad experience. However, at the end of the day, their job is to play football for Wrexham Football Club. And they've never been distracted from that. Never. And Palmer gave enormous credit to the manager for that. You know what Parkinson does? The bloke draws a very clear line. And it doesn't matter if it's someone coming to visit or someone watching the match, the focus is always on training, working hard, and delivering performance on a Saturday or Tuesday night. And that's never changed since Reynolds and Mack took control. Think about it, Ryan Reynolds might be one of the most famous men on the planet. He might have starred in Deadpool and be married to Blake Lively. He might have hundreds of millions of quid in the bank. But when it comes to Wrexham's rules about celebrities and distractions, he has to follow exactly the same guidelines as any player. No privilege, no exception, no but I'm the owner. None of that. It's a brilliant approach when you stop to analyze it. Parkinson understood that to maintain the integrity of the dressing room and focus on football, everyone has to be in the same boat. If you let the owner do whatever he wants, bringing celebrities into the changing room whenever he fancies, taking photos whenever he wants, interrupting training whenever he likes, you create an environment of chaos. And chaos doesn't win championships. So Parkinson established this iron rule: football comes first. Celebrities, fame, television series, all of that is secondary. And Reynolds and Mack, to their credit, completely respect this approach. They know they hired Parkinson to do a job, and part of that job is keeping the players focused. If that means they themselves have to follow rules, then so be it. Now, the current season hasn't been exactly easy for Wrexham. They're facing a tricky start back in the second tier. After 9 matches, the team is in 18th position in the table. It's a very different reality from the glories of consecutive promotions. The Championship is brutal, it's competitive, and it's showing Wrexham that going up through divisions is one thing, but staying there is something completely different. But on Tuesday night, they've got a chance to achieve something special. Wrexham face Cardiff City in the 4th round of the EFL Cup. It's an all-Welsh clash, North against South, and Wrexham have already got through 3 rounds of the tournament to get here. The match at the Racecourse Ground will be the first meeting between the two clubs since 2002, when Cardiff won 3-2 in League One. It's going to be an electric atmosphere, with thousands of supporters making the trip, and all that Welsh pride at stake. And you can be certain that Parkinson will keep his players focused, regardless of how many celebrities turn up to watch. News Story 2, Nathan Broadhead and the emotional dilemma against Cardiff. Now let's move on to the second story, and this one's emotional because it involves divided loyalties, tested friendships, and a player who's literally being begged not to do what he does best, score goals. Nathan Broadhead, Wrexham's star striker, has been receiving some rather unusual advice this week. His mates have been begging him not to score. That's right, you heard correctly. His best friends are asking him to have a deliberately poor match. And the reason? Because Wrexham are facing Cardiff City in that cup match I mentioned, and this is one of the fiercest rivalries in Welsh football, returning after 21 years. Let me tell you Broadhead's story, because it's fascinating. The lad grew up surrounded by Cardiff supporters. He's from Bangor, up in North Wales, and in his area there's a legion of Cardiff fans. And I'm not just talking about random acquaintances. I'm talking about his own father. That's right, Nathan Broadhead's dad is a Cardiff supporter. And most of his mates are too. So imagine the situation. You're a professional player, hired to score goals for Wrexham, and you're going to face precisely the team your father supports and your friends love. What an emotional dilemma, isn't it? But Broadhead, being the professional he is, made it very clear what his attitude will be. In an interview with The Guardian, he said, "I know quite a few Cardiff fans, they've all told me not to score but hopefully I do. I'm just buzzing to be part of it." What a lovely response, mate. The lad understands the rivalry, understands the pressure, but is committed to his team. He's thrilled with the opportunity to participate in this historic match. And what a history he has with Wrexham. Broadhead is the club's record signing. Wrexham paid £7.5 million for him, with the deal potentially rising to £10 million depending on bonuses and objectives. It's a fortune. And he quickly became a hero at the Stock Kai Raz, Wrexham Stadium. His journey with the club is really interesting. Broadhead actually started in Wrexham's youth ranks when he was a kid. But at the time, the club didn't have the facilities or resources to retain local talent, so he ended up going to Everton's academy when he was still a teenager. It was a natural path for promising youngsters from the area, leaving for bigger clubs that could offer better opportunities. But now, under Reynolds and Mac's ownership, everything has changed completely. Wrexham have investment, they have ambition, they have infrastructure. And Broadhead saw this and decided to return home. He even admitted in an interview, "I didn't think I'd end up back here. But the club is on such a great path, the investment and ambition are amazing." When Broadhead was a kid playing in Wrexham's youth ranks, there wasn't adequate structure. There weren't top-notch academies, there weren't enough high-level coaches, there wasn't the necessary support to develop young players. But now it's completely different. Broadhead even expressed hope that Wrexham can become the destination for young players from North Wales, a place where they can stay and develop instead of having to leave. And he's not alone in this homecoming journey. Danny Ward, another Welsh international, also returned to Wrexham this summer. It's a symbolic movement. Players who left because the club couldn't offer what they needed are now returning because they see a bright future there. Now, about this rivalry with Cardiff. Historically, Wrexham's main rival has always been Chester. That's the most heated, most intense, most visceral rivalry. But matches against Cardiff also have quite an inflammatory history. In the 80s, the two clubs even fought over who should host Wales internationals. It was a matter of pride, Wrexham's Racecourse Ground or Cardiff's Ninian Park. North against South, each wanting to be considered the true home of Welsh football. That old tension is going to be reignited in Tuesday's match. The stadium will be packed, with tickets sold out. And around 1,200 Cardiff supporters are making the trip north. It's going to be an absolutely electric atmosphere. And here's the most incredible detail of this whole story. Wrexham, who a few years ago were in the 5th tier of English football, are now looking down the championship table and seeing Cardiff below them. It's a complete role reversal. Cardiff, who were in the championship and even had seasons in the Premier League recently, have dropped to League One for the first time in 22 years. Meanwhile, Wrexham have gone up 3 consecutive divisions under Reynolds and Mac. So when Broadhead takes to the pitch on Tuesday night, he'll be representing a club on the rise against a club that's struggling. His father will be supporting against him. His mates will be supporting against him, but he'll be giving his all to put the ball in the net and take Wrexham to the cup quarter-finals. Because at the end of the day, when you cross those white lines, there's only one thing that matters: winning for the team that's paying your wages and trusting in you. News story 3. Gareth Bale rejects Wrexham and tries to buy Cardiff. And now we've arrived at the main story of the day, the one I promised would be spine-tingling. This is about Gareth Bale, one of the greatest legends in Welsh football of all time, and how he made it absolutely clear which side is on in this rivalry between Wrexham and Cardiff. Gareth Bale is a name that needs no introduction, right? The bloke played for Real Madrid, won the Champions League, scored that historic bicycle kick in the final, was a Tottenham star, and carried the Wales national team on his shoulders for years. When he retired in January 2023, it was the end of an era for Welsh football. But today's story isn't about his brilliant career. It's about what happened after he hung up his boots. And let me tell you, it's a saga involving desperate attempts by Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack, absurd promises, and an unshakable loyalty that nobody could break. It all began just 3 months after Bale retired. Wrexham had just achieved promotion from the National League to League Two. It was a moment of celebration for Reynolds and Mack, and they had a mad idea. What if we convinced Gareth Bale to come out of retirement and play for Wrexham for one last magical season? Rob Mack was the first to make the approach. He went onto social media and posted a rather cheeky message aimed at Bale. He said something like, "Hey Gareth Bale, let's play golf, where I totally won't spend 4 hours trying to convince you to retire for one last magical season." It was a good-humoured approach, very much in their style, trying to plant the seed of the idea. But Ryan Reynolds decided to raise the level of the offer to a completely ridiculous and hilarious level. He responded saying, "I will shave a professional-grade golf course into Rob's back if you'll give Wrexham a season." Let me repeat that so you understand the madness. Ryan Reynolds, one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, offered to shave an entire golf course into Rob Mack's hairy back if Gareth Bale agreed to play one season for Wrexham. It's the sort of offer so absurd you don't even know if it's a joke or if they were being serious. Bale is known for loving golf. The bloke plays golf practically every day since he retired. So Reynolds and Mack thought, let's play with what he loves most. Let's make golf-related offers. He's bound to accept. But guess what happened? Gareth Bale refused firmly and politely, but firmly. When asked about the possibility of joining Wrexham, he went straight to the point, "No, I don't think so. I think I was looking more for a free round of golf off Rob. I'm sure we'll have a chat and a joke, but I'm quite happy where I am, spending a lot of time with my kids and my wife. It's time that I've lost so much of over the years being committed to football. I'm just enjoying family life and playing some golf." What a mature and honest response, isn't it? Bale made it clear that his priority now is family. He spent his entire career traveling, training, playing, living under constant pressure. Now he wants to wake up, have breakfast with the kids, take them to school, play golf with his mates, have a quiet dinner with his wife. It's a simple life he couldn't have when he was an elite professional player. But Reynolds and Mack didn't give up. In 2024, they tried again. Made new approaches, new proposals, new jokes on social media. And again, Bale refused. The man made it clear he had no interest whatsoever in returning to play football, not even for one season, not even for the most famous Hollywood club in the world. And this is where the story becomes absolutely fascinating. Whilst Bale was repeatedly refusing Wrexham, he was secretly working on something much bigger related to Cardiff City. Because Gareth Bale isn't just a casual Cardiff supporter. The bloke bleeds blue through his veins. Bale was born in Cardiff, the Welsh capital, in 1989. His uncle, Chris Pike, was a notable goalscorer for Cardiff in the early 90s. So the club is literally in his family. Despite Bale never having played for Cardiff during his career, he's always been vocal about his love for his hometown club. And this summer, Bale put his money where his mouth was. He was part of a consortium that put forward a £40 million bid to buy Cardiff City from current majority owner Vincent Tan. 40 million quid. It's an absolute fortune. At the time, Bale made emotional statements about what this would mean to him. He said, "We are interested in getting Cardiff. It's my home club, it's where I grew up and my uncle used to play for them. To be involved with an ownership group would be a dream come true. I would love to be able to be a part of growing Cardiff and taking it to the Premier League where it belongs." Can you feel the passion in those words? Bale isn't talking about an investment opportunity. He isn't talking about a lucrative business. He's talking about a dream. He wants to see his childhood club, the club his uncle played for, back in the Premier League spotlight. Unfortunately for Bale and his consortium, Malaysian owner Vincent Tan turned down the offer. Cardiff chairman Mehmet Dalman even dismissed rumours of the club being sold as fiction. Tan apparently isn't interested in selling, despite the generous offer. But here's the important detail: Bale hasn't given up. He's publicly stated he's still interested in running a football club. He said, "If something was to happen with a football club, I would definitely be interested and would love to explore it. I'm still relatively new into retirement, so I'm still enjoying that phase of relaxing a bit." So Bale is waiting, watching, awaiting the right opportunity. And when that opportunity comes, you can bet it'll be with Cardiff, not Wrexham. Now let's connect all the dots of this story. Reynolds and Mac tried twice to convince Bale to play for Wrexham. They offered golf courses, they offered banter, they offered the chance to be part of their mad story. And Bale said no both times. Not because the offer wasn't good. Not because he doesn't like them. But because his loyalty lies with Cardiff. Always has, always will. Meanwhile, he tried to buy Cardiff for 40 million quid. 40 million. It's an absurd amount of money. And he's not doing this for profit. He's doing it because he's passionate about the club, because he wants to see it succeed, because he wants to be part of this journey. And the timing of all this makes Tuesday night's match even more special. You've got Wrexham, Reynolds and Mac's club that Bale rejected twice, facing Cardiff, the club Bale tried to buy and that he passionately supports. It's a battle of loyalties, of investments, of different visions for the future of Welsh football. Cardiff are currently in League One, having dropped from the Championship for the first time in over 2 decades. It's a painful fall for a club with so much history, but under manager Brian Barry Murphy, they're in a strong position to return quickly to the second tier. Meanwhile, Wrexham are struggling in the lower reaches of the Championship table, despite having spent 33 million quid on new players during the summer. So when these two teams take to the pitch on Tuesday night, it's not just a cup match. It's North against South. It's Hollywood against local loyalty. It's the club Bale rejected against the club Bale tried to buy. It's an absolutely delicious narrative.